Don't worry, don't worry.
So you translate? Okay. Excellent.
He tried.
Well, happy you guys are in the workshop. I have no idea what we're going to do. I had an idea about a winding workshop, but in the end I think I'm going to do more like close combat stuff and maybe useful things for sparring situations.
Vale, os dar las gracias a todos por asistir al workshop, que realmente no sabe muy bien qué va a hacer porque tenía otra idea de clase, pero ha preferido hacer algo sobre combate cercano que nos acerque más a un entorno de combate.
And we probably throw in one winding drill in there, so you have a little bit of an idea of how to work from the bind. So as soon as you make contact, basic drills that situations you can end up in, basically.
Básicamente vamos a hacer algo de binding y saber cómo manejarnos cuando entramos en contacto con la hoja.
So yeah, basically that's it. So I want to work first from the different distances and how to get into from a sparring situation, how you can get into contact with somebody safely. So basically you have the three distances. So you can tell that you have the three distances where you're working from.
Lo primero que nos va a enseñar es cómo entrar de manera segura en un combate cercano. Dice que básicamente hay tres distancias.
Ik pak jou er wel uit om even te horen. Dat is een protocol geweest. So yeah, we could also do it, but maybe for communication. So you had, and then you can concentrate on the translation. So three distances. He's going to be my training partner. Basically, if you are in a position, let's move out a little bit from the noise. So if we are both in a situation, I have to know what my reach is. That's the first thing for a real fight. Because sparring now and sparring in medieval times is different. We take risks much easily now because the punishment is just small.
Lo primero que tenemos que saber cuando vamos a entrar en combate es nuestra distancia, la máxima distancia a la que podemos llegar. ¿Vale? El combate actual es totalmente diferente al combate medieval porque ahora tomamos muchos más riesgos porque no nos van a matar.
So basically you have different positions and in which you can stand before you attack, and depending on those, some are also smarter than others, your attacks. It's not that every attack can be done against every position. Some things are definitely less smart than others. For instance, if somebody is a plow, it's not very smart. You cannot attack the person, you have to work with the weapon.
Dice que lógicamente cuando te vas a acercar no es lo mismo, dependiendo cómo esté tu atacante, tienes que entrar de una manera diferente. Por ejemplo, si alguien está en flux, no vas a ir a por él, sino que vas a ir a juntarte a su espalda.
So basically three distances. The first distance is to cover my distance and make contact with the blade. So I come in and I'm in the bind. It would be the second distance. The third distance would be if something goes wrong. Let's say either of us attack, and we step in, and we now are in a fighting in a ringing situation, in which you can work with the hands, you can work with the blade, you can work with the knees, you can work with the elbows, etc., etc. You know, you can do a lot of stuff. So. Yeah, first translate. So it's three distances.
Las tres distancias son, primero, la distancia en la que estamos.
So if he's in Fontag, I have to, then I should already think about hitting him. So the distance changes, because if it's the plow, I have to work against the weapon, which is basically here and then half a meter in front of him. So it's different. If he is here, I can come closer. Yeah? So because then I have to fight the person. But if the point is at me or an ox, I have to fight the sword.
La primera distancia es en la que nos acercamos a la distancia a la que vamos a combatir. Lógicamente, si nuestro contrario está en flujo, no vamos a atacar a él, no vamos a ir hacia su cuerpo, porque es absurdo, tenemos medio metro de hoja antes de llegar a él. Entonces vamos a atacar a su espalda. Si está en contra, en cambio, la distancia varía porque sí podemos, nos acercamos más y nuestra distancia de aproximación será distinta porque podemos ir directamente al cuerpo. Esa es nuestra segunda distancia, una vez hemos atacado. La tercera distancia es cuando...
Is when he parries somehow, attack.
Esa es nuestra.
We move him.
Y esa es la tercera distancia.
Yeah. You always have to be aware completely what is your striking distance. Like in the workshop we did, you know, you're standing there, bam. It should be first strike, one kill. That's the basic principle of fencing. If he defends, you have to work from there.
Debéis tener siempre en cuenta vuestra distancia de ataque. Como dijo en el workshop anterior, la idea básica de la esgrima es un golpe, un muerto. Se acabó. Si luego nos para, ya veremos qué hacer.
So we're first going to check how you can get into those distances. So we're going to make a team up, and as soon as he moves forward, I move forward, but I keep the distance all the time. Yeah? So it should be, if I make one step, I should be able to touch his hand. So you can actually do that with the flat. So you can once in a while just step and check if the distance is the same. So we're gonna not just go like this, or what he was very good in his workshop, the distance management with the hands. But we're gonna do more or less the same, but now you just have to see where you're going. And you're gonna move around, so the distance has to be all the time the same. So I'm gonna check, and if he's in the control, he's the one saying that I need to follow. So basically, I need to know exactly if I make one step again, that I should be able to have 1 centimeter over his arm, more or less. Yeah, because that's my maximum reach. This normally you're cutting, this is the maximum cut power. But if you want to play it safe, you can move it a little bit upwards, so you have a little bit more length and play it safe a little bit more, so you can move it upwards. Yeah.
Dice que la distancia máxima de corte efectivo es por aquí, pero que si queréis hacerlo más seguro, subid un poco.
So, first you're going to take the distance, go in a sparring situation, but you move also through the positions. Yeah? Then you're going to check where, and he is in control, so I have to follow him. So if he's moving, I have to move. Yeah? And if I'm like in a position, and he would stand again in from Dach, or whatever, then I should be again one step, 1-2 centimeters over. Yeah? So basically that's it. So that's the first exercise we're going to do.
El primer ejercicio va a ser lo que vimos.
So you go and walk around. One person is taking control. He will stop. You will stop exactly at that moment. So now I also cheated a little bit. So the idea is you stop. So when he stops, you know, I have to be immediately, I have to follow him fast. So this is now my end position. He stops, boom, I stop. And then, let's say he goes in from Dach. See if I have the right reach. So he just moves on, yeah? So stop is stop. So you have to be very fast, because if you miss, then you are 1 meter far away. So you have to be all around. Okay?
Nos ponemos en parejas, el que defiende va a llevar el ritmo, él va a decir para adelante, para atrás, a los lados. Cuando se pare, se pone en monta, y el que ataca, el que defiende, se pone en monta, y el otro pone el plan, ¿vale? En cuanto el otro pare, vosotros paráis. Si para y estáis deslizando, pues algo estáis haciendo mal.
Or here doesn't matter, but then you have the arm. That's your mission. Flat.
No os olvidéis del montaje para dejar un blanco claro.
Move, suddenly bump, stop. Here in the center, you guys go around. You need gloves and you need a mask. But handschoenen, masker. Wat ik doe, is ik val jou aan een afstand, dus je kan zeg maar maak een slag. Je hebt gewoon een slag en moet ook achteruit doen. Oké. Ja. Het kan ook zijn dat je 2 slagen. Je komt in snel. Nu verder. Ja. Dus en er zijn 3 slagen maken maximaal. Nu kom ik in. Ja, dus dan loop je terug. En dan gaan we zeg maar van die kant op deze kant op. Dus dan kan die andere volgen. So basically you can maximum make 3 attacks by moving to the other side. So you can strike one's right, strike one's left, and again right. But you are going to mislead the person as much as you can. So you're going to try to overstep him, so that he makes more motions backwards or he stays too close. You know, but the principle is that he should still, if you measure, it should still be more or less that. So if I come in,
lo que vamos a hacer es darle un máximo de 3 golpes a nuestro contrario, ¿vale? El objetivo real de esto es que pierda el paso, que se quede cerca, hacerle, digamos, avasallarle para que pierda el control. En principio, lo que vamos a hacer ahora es simplemente dar los golpes y ver que nos quedamos también en distancia cuando atacamos.
So it goes at high speed, so the principle is you both keep your hands more or less here, so you cannot strike at somebody's feet. So it's more or less safe. And you also gonna use your speed now. So you're gonna see how fast you can move forward. So if I come in, you're gonna play with him. But now he also immediately has to come back. Yeah? So it could be 2. Still move afterwards. I can move a little bit backwards, forwards, attack, and he has to follow me. But when we do that, we're going to measure the distance. So afterwards. So I come in, for instance, and then we go, I'm standing in this position, check. Okay, he's checking my arm. So we have still good management. So not about 3, 4, 5 centimeters, but if you are suddenly here, that's not good. If you are here, it's also not good. Yeah? So you need to maintain distance. Yeah? So unos, dos, yeah?
Vais a dar 1, 2 o 3 golpes y luego vais a comprobar que mantenéis la distancia. Tanto el 1. Sin más, eso es un control de distancia cuando golpeamos. Como veáis, no es una cosa.
And you can do it first a little bit slower, but then you have to really see if you can make speed, because the principle is that this person going backwards needs really a lot of leg work to move backwards fast. And some people really attack, so sometimes you have to see see what's going on and get some distance, get perspective of things.
Al principio podéis hacerlo lento, pero realmente el objetivo de este ejercicio es hacerlo rápido, porque muchas veces el que os ataca puede ir muy rápido, puede atacar muy rápido, y tú tienes que ser capaz de ir hacia atrás manteniendo la distancia sin perder la perspectiva del combate.
Yeah, so go do it. You can take the whole gym.
In again. Yes, very good.
Because I see people making 3 steps from here to here. Like you guys been doing, like small steps. They come in, it's like 1, 2, 3. But in 3 strikes, if I'm starting here and after is here, I have my left foot here. It's not so exciting if I come in a little bit of distance. I need more. I really want to put the pressure on them. And it's 3 strikes. Then should be the distance that I cover. I really go in. So that's basically 1, 2, 3, 4 meters pressure with 3 strikes.
Vale, se ha dado cuenta de que muchos hacemos golpes, nos movemos muy poco cuando vamos a atacar. Eso quiere decir que no estamos haciendo suficiente presión sobre el defensor. ¿Vale? Realmente, cuando atacamos deberíamos estar yendo directos a por él, y deberíamos cubrir al menos una distancia de 4 metros. Dependiendo de la pierna de cada uno.
Yes, of course. That's okay. So, but it should not be like. No. Yeah? All right, try one more. Last round.
One más. Because if you go here, then stepping backwards is cool. If you're here, estando erguido, la espalda erguida, no hacia atrás, erguido. Eso es más fácil echar para atrás. Que si te echas ahí, ¿ves? Que solo salga.
Otherwise, you have to turn before you strike. Now you can strike immediately.
Iedereen is echt zo.
Er is een Amerikaanse gast, die vocht hier vandaan. Dit was zijn volkracht.
You have to vary. You have to constantly stress on the other guy. If you just do 3, then you're getting used to the distance. So you have to do 3. Then you attack him with 1. Then maybe 2 or 3, you combine. And then you attack 2, but you move backwards immediately, so he has to still follow you, you know? So he goes like this, and suddenly he moves to that, so he has to follow you around. So you have to make it a little bit more difficult, so we have to do it at least one more time to do it correctly.
Vale, a ver, lo estamos haciendo demasiado repetitivo, nos estamos quedando quietos cuando terminamos. Hay que hacer golpes aleatorios, un máximo de 3, e igual en un ataque das 1 y te echas para atrás, para que sea más difícil y tengas que coger la distancia. Vamos a hacer técnica y os pregunto a ver qué tal la distancia, si la lleváis bien.
Yes, the concept. So if you have the Vorschlag, who was in the workshop before with yeah? Okay. So if you have a good strike on the right moment, there will always be a problem for the opponent. Because if you don't hit him and he's able to defend himself, still a lot of things happen. Maybe his foot position is off, maybe the distance is off. So the fact that he parries your blow does not mean you lost. the initial blow or the effectiveness.
Vale. Si nosotros damos un buen golpe efectivo en el momento preciso, aunque nuestro oponente consiga pararlo, no quiere decir que hayamos perdido el golpe, porque lo más probable es que pierda el paso, pierda la distancia o básicamente cometa algún error. Entonces, no hemos perdido el primer ataque, simplemente no le hemos matado con él. Después pueden pasar muchas otras cosas.
So basically, a good strike on the right moment is devastating, but you have to be fast and precise. A lot of people in sparring just come in with a strike, but that has no use. You have to be able to see and just it's really no more than coming into the room with CQB. You open the door and that's it. It has to be fast. You cannot go like that's it. Yeah. So everybody got that one, I guess. So if I am attacking and I cover the distance, he also has to move backwards. So I can maybe make a jump. I have again power in the legs. So I come in, I also try not to cue, like. Okay. So I'm in a position and I'm throwing my weapon forwards. From here and moving. So I'm coming in, yeah? But you now already saw me a little bit coming up. So that's not perfect, but sometimes, you know. But he will be like, whoa, something is happening. So I have to move backwards. So if he stays in the bind, come in. Yeah, I could also immediately follow up fast with a stab. Yeah. So maybe you should take it.
Vale. El ataque tiene que ser preciso, directo, no debemos no debemos hacer aspavientos, no debemos movernos no debemos cablegrafiar que vamos a golpear a nuestro contrario. Tiene que ser rápido, preciso y en el momento adecuado. Eso quiere decir que aunque nuestro oponente lo vea y lo pare, nos dará tiempo, el golpe será lo suficientemente preciso para poder seguirlo con una estocada.
You can move to the other side or you can step. And everybody knows upsets. I think you also did it, right? Yeah. Coming up. Sure. So that means turning your thumb up and making sure you put pressure on the blade. But it has to be also fast. So I don't know if people have tips. That's a little bit problem. So you can try it a little bit safe. So, Oscar? No, it's okay, I do slow motion. So I can come in and when I make the strike, one strike, cover the distance, immediately I have to feel now if he's hard or not so hard in the bind. If he's hard, I continue the strike immediately, boom, to the other side. He moves back. If he's not so hard, I come in, I immediately continue. This should be with either passing step and be like a lunge. So sometimes walking is actually good. Come in, and if I make a strike, and I actually come in like this. Okay, if I now make the transfer, stepping through him, if he puts pressure on my sword, it goes in this leg. It's very stable. I can resist it quite well. If I move, so, boom. It's not bad. You can do that. Yeah? But you have to feel if the weapon is, he presses, and I'm again doing the distance management thing, walking. I come in, strike to the other side. I come in. Yeah? So, simple game, but you do it on speed and with power, and you keep your distance. And you have to feel hard or soft.
Vamos a hacer lo que habéis visto, es un ataque rápido y fuerte manteniendo el movimiento de combate, y vamos a notar cuando golpeamos si nuestro oponente es fuerte o débil. Si es fuerte, lo que vamos a hacer es variar y dar un golpe por el otro lado, y si está débil, simplemente giramos la espada y atacamos. También dice que puede ser una buena idea cuando golpeas y vas a clavar, mover el pie, porque así haces más presión con tu espada para resistir el posible movimiento de tu adversario.
And if he is soft, I come in and he resists me anyway, here, far to the side, I also strike. Yeah?
So you go from soft to hard.
Yes, if he comes in, he still moves immediately, you have to respond. So you have 3 options already. Branch.
Si el contrario nota que está débil y corrige cuando hacemos el binden, lo que tenemos que hacer es cambiar al otro lado.
Excellent. Okay, so go and try and people coming in like this with an ox. I see people moving in like this. I used to move in with my with the thumb grip, so I have some control here over the blade of the opponent. I have less control if I have my hand like this. But biomechanically, this could be faster and could be stronger in the beginning. In the end position, this is better. So you can choose. So basically, either this or this. It's all good. So now we understand a little bit about the distance. You have now to think about the strikes, but you also still have to maintain the distance management.
Ahora que ya hemos manejado la distancia, ahora tenemos que concentrarnos en el ataque, pero sin dejar de perder la distancia.
So we're going to do one more, because I'm not going to give you a lot of techniques, because it's more about the principle that I find more important that people have 20,000 of techniques, because in the end you will probably forget it.
Vamos a repetirlo porque no va a dar muchas técnicas, porque lo importante es el principio de distancia y ataque. Es absurdo saber miles de técnicas si no sabes aplicarlas.
But we'll do some cool ring techniques. So, if I come in, I can choose to strike 3 times, 1 time, 2 times. So I can come in, yeah, and move back. He has to move back. I can move back. Yeah. I can maybe now actually come in and move. If he displaces it, I still move. I make the strike. But if I make the strike, he should still try to move backwards and not stand like sitting duck, because that happened a few times. Like, oh, okay. And then it's difficult because you can try to make a wrist lock when the sword is in your brain. Try to make a disarm, but it doesn't work always. Yeah. So I come in, so he also has to move back, so I come in. And he still moves backwards. Yeah, so basically you keep on action, action, action. You can choose 1 attack, 2 attack, 3 attack, or 1 attack. But maybe also 2 attacks. 1, 2, 3, no, it can only be on the first one. Because otherwise you have to do it with number 3, and that's not good for you. So, you know how it works. So once more, change partners. All the manuscripts are full with these steps.
Ya habéis visto que realmente dar la estocada es muy complicado, por eso en combate, muy poca gente consigue hacerlo. En cambio, los manuales están plagaditos de estocadas.
So you can now move forward more times. You can move 4 times, 5 times, put pressure on, and try from somewhere from the right to see if you can put in the stab. But because we don't have really sparring weapons, it's a little bit maybe. I don't know if it's gonna work, but you can try it by not stabbing too much, but try to bind against the sword and try to aim for the mask with not so much strength and see what happens. So you come in, pop, and you try to touch his mask. If he displaces it, you immediately strike. But with the strikes, you should try now to really hit the mask. So, a lot of info.
Vale, ahora vamos a atacar más veces, 4, 5, y cuando veamos la posibilidad de estocar, estocamos. Como no tenemos armas de entrenamiento, vamos a intentar estocar a la cara y con calma, ¿vale? Los golpes tienen que ir a la cabeza, no es te pego aquí porque así te voy a abrir y no, el golpe es donde tiene que ir.
Distance, again. Distance. Forward play with the distance. So, don't try to speed it up. Try softly, not to press the point, stab. I will try to move and touch his head either with stab, but it could also more be like a strike and it becomes a swerk a little bit.
Podemos tocar o si no podemos en el giro golpear.
So if he moves, I try to feel what is going on. Yeah? So you can also move 4 or 5 strikes. So I can move maybe 1. If you come in. Then I should go to the other side. So high speed, focus, try to get that step in there, but softly, displaces it to the other side. Go and do it. For exercise is now enough. You know how to keep your distance, how to strike, and maybe throw in a stab.
De momento, para los ejercicios, esta distancia es suficiente. Ya sabéis cómo mantenerla, cómo golpear y cómo, si veis la oportunidad, lanzar una estocada.
So now we're gonna make it going to the third distance. So we're gonna move in more. So I'm gonna make a strike, trying to overrun him. 1, 2, but actually if, let's say we start with 1, if I come in and I am really have a lot of power and your opponent is like also happened with you a little bit, that you don't move too much backwards, then he is in the third distance immediately.
Ahora vamos a hacer lo mismo, pero imprimiendo más presión. Si nuestro oponente da un mal paso atrás porque no se da cuenta o porque es lento o sus pasos son cortos, entraremos en la tercera posición.
So that's why if you are a bad wrestler, you can never let anybody in the third distance.
Si eres un mal luchador, no podrás hacer nada contra nadie en la tercera distancia.
But if you are a good wrestler, and he already, let's say with the sparring, he already is 2-0 ahead, but you also know you can wrestle, you have to durchlaufen, it's like you have to go through him and get in the third distance and maybe make some points by throwing him down. Or in a real fight, somebody cuts off your fingers, you feel that he's better than you, but you know you're a better wrestler, so maybe, yeah, you have to find a way to get in and finish him.
If you're a better wrestler, you can let your opponent enter your...
If you're bad, if you're a good wrestler.
You can let your opponent...
If he's a good wrestler, yes, you can also let him come in, but let's assume that he's not stupid and knows your qualities as a fighter, because he did his research. But if you have a stranger, yes, then of course, you can just say, okay. That's possible. Can you translate that?
Bueno, lo que dice es que si eres un buen luchador y entras en la tercera distancia, conseguirás cosas. Es más, si alguien es muy bueno en distancia larga y te está cortando los brazos, es mejor que tú, lo que tienes que hacer es intentar de alguna manera entrar, porque si tú sabes que eres mejor luchador que él. Y a la pregunta de él, si se puedes dejar que alguien entre hacia ti, dice, sí, si no te conoce y cae en ello, no hay ningún problema.
So what I will do is get now in a distance where I'm trying to get in the third distance. But now we are pretty good and we are able to maintain the distance. So if that is the case, you have to slow down a little bit. If you're already now too good with the distance management, you have to slow down so he, in effect, can come in.
Vale, ahora lo que vamos a hacer es entrar en tercera distancia. Lógicamente, como hemos estado entrenando en mantener la distancia, si vemos que nuestro compañero no puede entrar, bajamos el tono y dejamos que entre. Un ejercicio.
But in theory, you should be able to run faster forwards than he can.
Pero en teoría deberías ser capaz de moverte más rápido y comerle la distancia.
But with modern sparring techniques, it's very important that you reach him before you both stand together in the audience.
Ha quedado claro.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's. So if I come in, first basic move, and what we're now doing is conditioning some techniques you maybe already have done, but we're trying to do it high speed. So you know now, because high speed is something else than training like that. Right? So I come in, make a strike. Let's say he is going in the right distance, but I can still follow up. I can change, striking there, or I can move like that. So I can make two steps with the same leg. So I can come in, and I can fire with this leg. So I already jump, I land, and when I'm landing, I come in with another step. And then this is good, because then I'm with this leg in the third distance, and I can maybe use and throw, put my leg behind him. I can maybe work and whatever, kick him, or I can maybe even step in with this leg and try to throw him. But if I step in with my right leg, there's some little advantages that you can do. So.
O bien avanzar el paso con todas las posibilidades que he explicado después, o bien, según aterrizamos, ponemos los detrás y...
So, what I can do is I come in from here, I step in, I block this line, and I have already two chances. I can maybe move up with the pommel, strike, but in reality, very difficult, because people see something coming and they go like, and then immediately basic reflex, this arm is in the way and blocks. But can be advantage for you. Yeah? So, if I come in, and I come up here, and I come in, yeah, you see something coming, the elbow comes up, it's good, I can push the elbow, and I can strike him immediately. It's very simple, it's in all men's schools, but maybe 3-4 people in tournaments are able to use it, because you have to see, if you miss your window, it's gone. So, what is a good trick is, for instance, to come in with that pommel, and people see that, they go like this, do.
Y luego dice una cosa que se puede hacer muy sencilla es golpear con el pomo. En técnica sale muy bien, pero que realmente en combate no sale nunca, porque el reflejo de la gente cuando ve algo venir es cubrirse. Lo cual nos da una pequeña ventaja, porque cuando la gente se cubre, levanta el codo, lo que te permite. Sé que es difícil verlo, pero si lo ves...
I can only do it at the first or the third shot, because it happens on the right side.
Solo se puede hacer durante el primero o el tercer ataque, porque es algo que viene desde la derecha.
I come in, so it could mean I come in. Or if he moves, because he thinks I'm attacking, he moves, I stay. So I come, he thinks I'm going to the other side, but he's already moving, let's say, to move here. I stay here. Yeah, because if it's here, it's also another problem. It's still the same principle. But then I could, it's a little bit different. I can strike him, or I can also just push him. It's the same. But this is only if it doesn't go exactly as you plan.
Si no sé exactamente cómo vas a planear y él piensa que le vas a atacar y empieza a hacer el movimiento para pararte el siguiente, tú simplemente sigues haciendo el movimiento, pero su ángulo de espada es distinto. Con lo cual lo que no te deja jugar tanto con el pomo y puedes pegar un puñetazo o hacer la...
But it's good now because you have two distances. If something goes wrong, his arm will be here, low. If it goes right, his arm will be up. So you have to just acclimate for the push. So you have to think.
Esto está bien porque solo tienes dos posibilidades. Si todo va bien, sus brazos quedarán arriba. Y si no va bien, porque no has sido lo suficientemente efectivo, tendrás los brazos abajo. Tienes que pensar en la técnica adecuada para cada uno.
But now the problem is that we don't have so much protection. So I'm thinking how we can do that. But I think you have to just, with the strike, relax a little bit, push and stop. Yeah.
Como llevamos a cero, con amol, ¿vale? Con cuidadito.
Con mucho amor.
¿Vale? Efectivamente.
A lo cubano.
Once more, I come in. Come in. Yeah, he holds this situation. Three strikes. Yeah. slow motion, get the movement. If you feel okay, speed things up.
Okay. Muy lento, si os notáis cómodos, los dos, subir un poquito.
So, we can make, we can do a few moves, train these techniques separately, and then see if we somehow can combine it in a simulated sparring situation. And it is 2 moves I'm going to learn you.
Vamos a aprender algunos movimientos y los vamos a combinar con lo que hemos aprendido para ver maneras efectivas de hacer esas combinaciones en una situación de sparring.
And one is very difficult to pull off in a real fight, I'm saying it honestly, but it does happen once in a while, but at least it's cool to practice.
Hay una que es casi imposible que salga en combate, pero que si sale una de cada 100, quedas como un señor.
So one is that this is what I do when somebody, this is before, still with the step. So let's say he is the one attacking me. So he comes in with the strike, but he comes up with the step. Yeah? Then normally if I push out, he will continue attacking. Or if I push out, he can maybe drop his weapon and step. But if I train this a lot, if you train it a lot, you can recognize the movement. Not many people do it, stabbing. But if people do it and you recognize it, or you give him opportunity to do it, so he comes in, I'm not so strong and he feels comfortable, then you manipulated him in making a step. And then what you can easily do is step aside, close in, throw your hand in here, and now you have the strike from the other side. So it's so he comes in, I step in, but I keep close. Yeah? It is either here, you can take the hand. If you take the hand, it's like you grab the pommel, and it's like this kind of motion. Plus, you can disarm him, so he comes in here, and I grab, and then the weapon comes in, and I make this kind of motion. Yeah? So, and when you do this goes very fast, he will move backwards. If he knows what's coming, he could just let go and start grappling, but that's probably not going to happen. So he comes in, boom, chuck, I come in, and this is what happens. And immediately if this happens, I come in with, yeah, I have to use, looks like some kung fu, but if he comes in, or you strike him with the pommel, but basically you don't want to give him space to maneuver. But he will probably want to hold on to his weapon because he's losing, either he loses his weapon, and if he holds on, maybe he can still resist it, but he can't. But it's your reflex. And if you hold it, you fall. Because he comes in, yeah, he makes the box, let's say he comes in like this, I come in here, and if he wants to hold it, you know, it's the balance is here. So it's annoying, yeah? So you take him out and you throw him to the ground and you stab him. He's now very high, so like the taalhoffer ox. That's how a lot of Dutch people do this, and I also, here, boom. But it can also be from here that people are a little bit lower. You know, you come in, then it's easier. But if it's higher, it's still the same. You throw in your right hand, and it's like, you don't need to see my identification in Star Wars. It's like, using the force. Yeah? So, basically, he comes in. Yeah, he stabs. I'm like Obi-Wan. Yeah, and you have the sword. So, that's the first one. You can practice that. And, well, let's do that first one. And then we do the second one. I can show you the second one already, but first only going to do that's the one where you are coming in. You want to strike, he comes up with his hand. and you move your hand below and you strike him in the head. Here. And you have your elbow control so he cannot strike you in the head. Yeah, and you can also make a nasty lock like that, or move in this direction with his blade more or less attached here because you move. So you can make a throw, but I will show you how that works later on. So, but first, comes in with step. I dive in, put the sword aside. Even if he switches around, strikes to the other side, you know, and something goes wrong, it doesn't matter. You know, because my hand was not in between. This is the worst situation, but it's still good because from here I can still grab and I can still have control over his body. So as soon as I throw my hand in there, you cannot make the change to the other side if somebody's here. It's just not working. So if he comes in, 1, 2, and he's already changing around, let's say now. You know, it still doesn't matter because I am in the circle of the strike. Yeah? So, but this would be the worst. But normally if he comes in, yeah, and he starts striking around, I already am here. Yeah? So, and then it's a question of fuck. Yeah? So, go into it.
Traducción.
And strike him in the head. Yeah? So, it can be sometimes that this is the situation that I'm contact before this comes in between. This is very strong because you can do a lot of nasty stuff. You can bring him to the ground, step on his weapon, yeah. So and work or whatever you want to do. So and it's very painful on the wrist. But normally you just want to hit him in the head. So basically you come in, yeah. I come in with a strike, he comes up. As soon as he defends, I grab under and strike. I still also have the choice to come in with the pommel and push him to the side and do that. So try this one and see if it works. Then we do the last exercise, combining everything. So then you can see, okay, how does that...
With stripe.
Yes. So like medium speed. So I don't know how many minutes, do we still have 5 minutes, I think? No? Okay.
5 minutes.
So that's
5 minutes. Okay. 5 minutes.
Yeah?
5 minutes. No more.
Okay. Let's do it fast. So I can try and do distance management. So I can come in and move backwards. And I can come in. I can move in. I can maybe move in. I can step in the head. I can maybe move. Step in the head. If he resists, I still move to the other side. If he comes in, if I come in and I make the move, and I come in, so let's say you attack me. I come in, and I stab him or whatever, and come in with the strike. Yeah? So, then is the other one. I come in, and I move. Or the third one. Yeah, I hit him. So I'm going to play double motion. I can either push him, stab him, do whatever I want. Yeah? So try to play around. Not too fast, but not too slow.
Okay. Push right.
All right.
Para que quede constancia de que había público.
Sí, eso lo dicen.
Y mira, eso, mira, encima se han puesto escalonados para que parezca que haya mucho público.
Y ahora, pasamos al otro lado y vamos.
No o sea, que queríais comprobar si entraba, ¿eh?
No mucho. No, esto no va bien, pero...
O sea, que no lo habéis probado en cosas normales, en gente todavía.
¡Hala!
No, esto no puede ir así.
No, no puede ir así.
Jonathan, no juegues. Que eres como un... Pero si soy un puto maniquí.
Espera, espera, no, póntelo otra vez. Es que así mola más. Así mola más.
Así sí protege, mira.
Ya, te sientes seguro así.
¡Ya hemos dado!
McCloud, no McFly.
Hola, que salto por los sitios.
You guys worked hard.
Habéis trabajado muy duro.
So I'm very happy, and I think everybody got rid of this hangover. I think.
Está muy contento porque cree que todo el mundo ha echado el hígado.
So I hope you guys learned something about distance, about speed, about agility, and some moves. So I'm honored that you guys were in the workshop. Hope you like it. I want a big hand for Arto, who was my perfect assistant. So and thank you very much. And a hand for